threat levels are reaching all-time highs. And at the same time, simultaneously, people are telling me that they don't feel as safe as they used to, with some crazy, shocking, and alarming news breaking just moments ago. I'm gonna pull this up so you guys can see it. And some shocking discoveries here as the Biden administration flat out asks the U.S. Supreme Court to, I guess I should have been more prepared to show you guys, remove the barbed wire fence along the Texas border, the southern border of Texas. And for what reason? Well, that right there, folks, is quite alarming. Now, if you haven't seen the video I put up earlier today in regard to the situation that happened down in Florida with the attempted kidnapping at a Walmart, that video we talked about attempted kidnapping at a Walmart, which I gotta ask you guys, what would you do if some old creepy man came and tried to grab your child while you were shopping at Walmart? And with all the cameras and different things and facial recognition, all this tech they got in there, you would think that they could use it to try to keep us safe. But obviously their priorities are elsewhere. But in that video, we talked about the attempted kidnapping at a Florida Walmart and also some shootings that happened at some Walmarts, and folks that are literally just they're in harm's way by shopping at Walmart. And it's becoming more and more of a problem as people are more and more on edge. And also in the Walmart self-checkouts, there's a new scam going on that Walmart has admitted to. And they say that it's costing folks a lot of money. And they don't even know it because of the way that this scam works and the tricks that they're pulling. So if you haven't seen it, I want you to go check it out. And it's not just for you to watch that video and get more views, which, hey, who doesn't want more views on their videos? But more so, I would ask for you guys to give me your honest opinions in the comments about the thought process of what some of the folks are saying in the comments. Understand not everybody is on the same page as we are, or as I would like them to be. And when videos end up getting more views than normal, then we end up reaching out into an audience group that isn't normal. But this audience group, in my opinion, is the same group of people that is being targeted, like these folks here, by the Biden administration to bring them into this country, and overwhelming cities like New York, Chicago, and Denver, and dropping them off in Jersey and Pennsylvania, and letting them, migrate wherever they need to go, and infiltrating some of these suburbs. And I'm gonna tell you right now, hopefully, in my opinion, I don't think that it would get that bad here in Florida, and Governor DeSantis would make sure that stayed the case and that we stayed safe. But the thought process behind it is alarming, okay? Because we're seeing here how the Biden administration is seeking the Supreme Court's intervention over Texas razor wire at the southern border, with the idea that this could potentially bring in more supporters for the Democratic Party, okay? Maybe not necessarily to vote for Biden, but for the overall support of the Democratic Party, which is why things are so laxed down at the southern border, which is why several thousands of dollars per day are being exhausted in an attempt to try and keep this border protected and safe, while and this is from Republican side, all the while the Democrats are trying to sabotage this and continuously allow illegal migrants into the country and giving them free reign, free transportation, free room and board, free food, food that, they're turning their nose up to and throwing in the trash and then opting to eat out somewhere. Where are they getting this money from? Cash Jordan's talked about this. We've talked about this. My brother's talked about this. And And for the folks that live in these areas, hopefully you guys are talking about it too, and bringing these issues up to lawmakers and politicians and your local congressmen and women, because they need to know how you feel. You need to voice your opinions. You need to get out there and vote and put an end to this nonsense. But some of the comments that I received on the video from this morning, which I'd like you guys to go check out, about the craziness, the spiraling panic, the collapse of society in general, essentially, by some folks out there who may have gotten tricked by some of the schemes and deviancy and propaganda and misinformation and disinformation and the strategy by these trained professionals to trick you into giving them your vote, dangling that carrot in front of you of student loan forgiveness, or dangling that carrot in front of you of stimulus checks, or dangling that carrot in front of you of higher Social Security checks, or SSI, or food stamps, or PEBT, or whatever boost may be out there, whatever aid the government can assist you with. Remember, they come knocking on your door. Hey, it's the government. We're here to help. Well, you got to know that it isn't necessarily always what it may seem. Okay. Believe half of what you hear, none of what you see. Trust but verify. And essentially, let me get this pulled up so I make sure to share it with you guys correctly and accurately. That U.S. asks Supreme Court, the Biden administration asked Supreme Court for permission to remove the border fencing. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Texas erected razor wire fence to curb illegal migration, removing it necessary to prevent risk to human life. Okay, so we actually talked about this. I was talking about this with a friend today on the phone, and he's up in Tennessee. He's up in Nashville. We were having this conversation, and he was telling me how he was being somewhat in the middle of a discussion and conversation for doing all the right things, all the while being compared to others who are not doing the right things. And in this conversation, I'm trying to leave out specifics because I don't feel like it's my place to put his business out there on the street like that, or put his business out on YouTube like that. But I said, basically, this is that progressive mentality. This is that victimized, victim mentality. This is that generational trauma BS. And literally, someone doing everything they're supposed to do ends up carrying the weight and the burden for everyone else who doesn't. And therefore, we as a country, this is the metaphor that I'm making here, the analogy, the comparison, have done what we should do to protect our country, to protect our borders. But because so many people are out there who could potentially hurt themselves and harm themselves by doing things they shouldn't be doing, by trying to cross this fence, we, the ones who are in the right, are being punished and reprimanded for those who are in the wrong, because it's our fault they're getting hurt. It's our fault that they're getting cut up because they're trying to cross this fence they're not supposed to cross. It's our fault. So, yeah, I don't get it. I don't subscribe to that kind of stuff. Maybe you guys do. Probably not. Hopefully not. If you do, maybe you stumbled across this video by accident. I don't know how you showed up here. But it says that the Biden administration asked the U.S. Supreme Court to step in and allow it to remove parts of a 29-mile fence along the southern border. The Justice Department sought intervention on Tuesday after a divided U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit cited December 19 with Texas in prohibiting the U.S. Border Patrol from cutting down razor wire fencing along the Rio Grande except in an emergency. I guess that will be when somebody really got caught up and hung up in there. And this was just put out just minutes ago today, January 2, 2024. Starting the year off with a bang, folks, okay? More of the same. Remember I said that last year, more of the same? The fence is part of a broader enforcement strategy put in place by Governor Greg Abbott to curb migrants from illegally crossing into the U.S. The Biden administration said that the limited emergency exception isn't enough to prevent serious risk to human life. The Court of Appeals ignored that by the time a medical emergency such as drowning is in progress, it may be too late for Border Patrol to prevent death or serious injury, the filing said. Well, perhaps maybe they shouldn't attempt to do things they're not supposed to do that would then put them into these dangerous situations that would ultimately lead to them being unalive. Yet, ironically, interestingly enough, the Biden administration is so focused and worried about the safety and the protection of illegal migrants entering into this country. For what reason? What benefit would they have? I can guarantee these folks aren't sending text messages around to others saying you should come to America because the Republicans want you here. No, they're saying that the Democrats want you here, and the Democrats are giving you anything and everything you want, and you can do no wrong. And eventually this will become the United States of, I don't know, South America, I guess. I don't know how that would work. But they're more concerned with the safety and well-being of these people who are entering into this country illegally, who would theoretically be supporters of the Democratic Party and whatever other agenda that they may have, allowing them to become police officers and law enforcement or join the military. Yeah. Giving them, pensions and Social Security and retirement funds and all the benefits that you and I are deprived of because we were actually born here and we live here and we work here and we help build this country and pay taxes, lots of taxes. All the while, Biden didn't give two craps about the folks over in Palestine, Palestine and Palestine, East Palestine, Ohio and Palestine, with, all the funding that he provided to aid in this genocide, the war in Gaza. Essentially, I don't know what side he's on. He's on the side of Hamas or what. But moreover, the Fifth Circuit ruling interferes with the federal government's enforcement of immigration law, the administration said, and it directly interferes with the government's enforcement of federal law by reinforcing the literal barriers that Texas has erected that bar access by Border Patrol agents to the border, and they are charged with patrolling, the filing said. So now we got a he said, she said. We got, government, state government versus federal government. You can imagine how that one's going to play out, how that one's going to go down. The case is DHS v. Texas, U.S. number 23A607. Somebody actually asked me in another video. They said, I thought Texas was trying to become its own country. I very well think that they could. And that would actually be really, really good for Texas. That'd be extremely interesting. Good for us, but then we would have a new border because that border would have to be on the northern side of Texas. You get it. You get what I'm saying. But Texas was also trying to introduce their own currency. So I wouldn't put anything past Texas in getting this situation locked down and under control, at least for the state, and not necessarily relying on that of the country and the current administration and quite possibly future administrations with the importation of all these illegal migrants, potentially voters in this system that they're going to rig anyway to keep this party going for the Democrats in this uber left, liberal leaning, progressive nature of mass destruction for you and I. Hey, folks, please stay safe, be smart, watch your six, keep your head in a swivel, and stay frosty, friends. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.